So the Monsterverse Godzilla being able to evolve is basically what makes it so special. Like, it's beautiful in so many ways, but it could freaking evolve, and now it's evolved twice. But what makes it evolve? What strenuous, horrible thing has to happen to, like, trigger an evolution Godzilla? So that's what we're gonna figure out today with the help of this amazing channel, MindQ. Subscribe to this legend link down below, because he has so much information about Godzilla. He's just amazing. And leave a like, subscribe, and let's get into it. It's actually so trippy. I feel like Godzilla just has to be beaten near death or pushed to some new limit that he's never been to before. Basically, just like a Saiyan. I'm basing it all off Dragon Ball Z.
Godzilla in the Monsterverse has never stayed the same. He has always changed every time he appears on screen. The only time he remains somewhat similar is between King of the Monsters and in GVK. And yet, even in the last movie, Godzilla vs. Kong, he seems to be more irradiated than in KOTM. Godzilla's ever-evolving nature isn't actually new. In fact, there has never been a Godzilla that stayed the same in design. Even the Showa and
That is true, they change every movie.
differ slightly from one movie to another. Hell, even his origins tell us of a mutation or an evolving element intrinsic to the G-Man. This theme was followed in more recent Millennium movies, in the anime, in Shin Godzilla and Singular Point.
What is this art?
So
It's
Godzilla
beautiful.
here in the Monsterverse is basically sticking to the source material.
Whoa.
Otherwise, by not changing, he would divert from it. Okay, now this video will describe all the 5 times Godzilla evolved in the Monsterverse, why and how as well.
Ooh, informational.
The first evolution. So from what to what, right? Okay, so the base form here is the 1954 Godzilla that actually appeared just a few days back in Monarch: The Legacy of Monsters, that new series. And the evolved form is the 2014 OG design.
God,
the first
so
Monsterverse
beautiful.
Godzilla form that we saw on the big screen. The 1954 and the 2014 were very similar, with only body height, belly roundness, and dorsal plate size that is different. So Godzilla was struck by the Castle Bravo nuclear bomb in the Bikini Atolls, and because of it, he was forced to absorb a tremendous amount of radiation, which not just damaged his body, but also filled it with a momentous amount of energy. So due to this, he grew from 300 feet or 90 meters to 355 feet or 108 meters.
He looked so
His
little
dorsal
and
plates
petite
grew
back
big
then.
as well, even relative to his size, and his belly got round. So that's the first evolution we can infer for the G-Man in
We
the
made him
Monsterverse.
fat.
There might be prior ones, but since there is no visual evidence, there is no crime. The first transformation was a reaction to the bomb, evolving to be able to bear a future nuclear blast and absorb the radiation.
It's actually crazy how it all worked out. He wouldn't have been able to defeat Monster Zero if we didn't nuke him back in the 50s. We basically saved America.
The second evolution.
I don't know why I just said
so
that.
this is the most known one though. The change from Godzilla 2014 to Godzilla 2019, or the King of the Monsters form. Here, the cause is due to a death battle with the MUTO Prime, which is an ancient parasitic enemy species who was known to have killed at least 2 more individuals of the Gojira species in the past. In the battle, Godzilla was initially outmatched, and his straight jagged dorsal plates were shattered by the sonic screech of the MUTO.
Some freaking producer, though, made it so the MUTO Prime isn't even canon anymore, which doesn't even make sense, because that's where the MUTOs came in the Godzilla 2014 movie, were laid by MUTO Prime. So if Prime's not canon anymore, then I don't know what the hell's going on with this franchise.
Thankfully, with the aid of Emma Russell, somehow he got a grip on the distracted Prime and defeated it with a nuclear pulse from his destroyed
Franchise
blade,
is in
and
shambles.
also stomping his head later on. So after the battle, Godzilla went into recovery mode,
No, not
and
really.
for almost a year, he disappeared only to reappear in 2015 in the Legacy of Monsters, with a larger size and a more maple leaf-shaped row of dorsal plates. As to why these changes came to be, well, he had to grow bigger to be able to take on another MUTO Prime if the time comes. And the differently shaped plates were to counter the resonance of the sonic screech of the MUTO Prime, and also the larger sizes comes with a greater capacity for atomic energy storage and output in the form of a more powerful and more intense atomic breath heat ray.
See, that's what's confusing too. In the comics, they mentioned his dorsal spikes grow forever, and he uses the walls of his ancient mega cave to like sharpen them down, but then that's not even real anymore either. I don't know what to believe anymore.
The third evolution, a temporary one. So this one right here is stated to be a temporary evolution or a transformation, but still is one nonetheless.
I feel like
Here,
this is
Godzilla,
just
even
Super
with the
Saiyan for
evolved
sure.
KOTM form, was unable to best Monster Zero in a fight on land.
Someone's at my door. Okay, I'm safe.
And after the three-headed dragon got juiced up with electricity from the power grid, he was done for. There was also a couple of factors that actually forced his evolution. One was the nuclear bomb that Serizawa detonated in his lair when he was recovering.
Oh,
And unlike
beautiful.
the Castle Bravo nuke, which was in the open air, meaning a lot of the energy and radiation was wasted everywhere, here the nuke was blasted in a confined space, and therefore there was more reflection and being stuck in the same place. So more substantial radiation was absorbed by the body of Godzilla, which made him overloaded with it to a point of coming to melting down. But thankfully, Mothra's life essence here, which is a unique symbiosis with Godzilla, allowed the Big G's body to actually evolve into a burning form which could unleash a set of nuclear pulses that not only burnt off the body of Monster Zero but also released the excess radiation that would have otherwise been fatal to Godzilla.
Mothra really saved the
fourth
day.
Evolution.
You know what else? People always, like, a lot of people were saying that -1 would stand a good chance against Monster Zero, and I freaking love -1. I'd love for it to be able to, but if nukes heal Godzilla and -1 shoots nukes out of its face, I just don't see how that's going to, like, benefit -1.
This is
You
a
know?
small minor evolution, and it is from the King of the Monsters Godzilla form to the Godzilla vs. Kong the GVK Godzilla form. And what are the actual changes? Well, Godzilla had the same height of 120 meters or 393 feet, the same weight, but there's a stark difference in the way his entire body glowed with atomic energy, and also his dorsal plates was slightly larger. Not that really noticeable to the layman, but to us, we could see it. So
I just
even
feel
though
like
he
they
was
grow
able to
forever.
show intimidation displays in KOTM, why was he glowing more in GVK than in the previous movie? Well, the actual reason is that it is maybe due to the after effects of Mothra's life essence that allowed him to survive the burning form, therefore teaching his G cells to be able to handle more atomic energy, both absorbing
That's
and
beautiful
outputting it.
explanation. I like
It is
that.
also a reaction to his fight with Ghidorah, which showed that he wasn't as fast as he needed to be, and that his atomic breath wasn't up to the mark. Thus, as we saw in GVK, Godzilla was more brutal in fighting, had more stamina, more speed, and definitely more agile, and also had a very powerful atomic breath that was able to burn right through the earth to the center to the hollow earth.
See, that's why I maintain the new Godzilla is thinner also. I feel like Godzilla just evolves to his previous threats, and now it's facing much, like, more agile, stronger things with, like, melee.
The fifth evolution.
Ooh.
And now this final evolution, the Pinkzilla form. So here in GXK, Godzilla and Kong the New Empire, he will change from the well-known GVK blue to a magenta-based color pattern with respect to the energy glow. If one looks at the electromagnetic spectrum, the pink, violet, magenta coloration
I knew
has
Godzilla
a
was
way
on the
higher
spectrum.
frequency and energy output than the blue spectrum. That's one thing. The next is his dorsal plates. They will molt and grow to become some sort of crystal amethyst spikes. He will also lose belly fat. He will just lose it all. Grow longer arms and legs and have a spike at the end of the tail, a set of spikes. So what could be the driving factor to this transformation, this drastic evolutionary leap? Well, the pink magenta atomic breath would be a reaction to the proton scream, which bore more power than the blue atomic breath, and I think this new one will generate way more energy. It will beat the previous one of the Mechagodzilla. His new skin texture will also be a response to the proton scream burning his chest in GVK.
Whoa.
With respect to his other physical changes, they are all in response to Godzilla being outmatched in the fight against Mechagodzilla in Hong Kong.
If anyone's confused what Proton Scream is, that's Mechagodzilla 2021's Atomic Breath's name. Nerd moments.
So now with longer arms, just like Mechagodzilla, longer legs, just like Mechagodzilla, spike at the tail, spikes, somewhat similar to Mechagodzilla's drill at the end of the tail, he will be a match or even be superior to Mechagodzilla.
Exactly.
Hell, even Kong was trying to keep up with Godzilla in running, so that shows he has increased in speed to a great extent.
I can agree with all this. Godzilla evolves to match, like, threats. His body needed to evolve.
So let's take a look at the different
beautiful
forms of
reasoning.
radiation for evolution of Godzilla, and these are as follows. The first one was thermonuclear in the form of the Castle Bravo test. The second was geothermal radiation from his lair. Third and fourth, thermonuclear and Mothra's life essence. The fifth evolution is gonna be powered by the hollow earth power
Whoa!
source, a ping radiation,
Holy
a unique
crap!
one, different from the one seen in GVK. So that's all about the evolutionary changes of Godzilla and what he has went through in the Monsterverse
Whoa,
from 1954 till GXK.
AI is
Now, if
crazy.
you like this video, then watch this other one as well, and you do check out our channel, as we might have things that you haven't seen before. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.
I pretty much agree with everything that was said here today. It all makes perfect sense. Godzilla evolves to like handle new threats and such like that, basically like Shin Godzilla did. I feel like it's like the same way MUTOs evolve to have their EMP like hurt Godzilla's atomic breath. Kaiju are known to rapid evolve to handle their threats. It's like how they managed to stay dominant for millions of years. So yeah, everything in this video makes a lot of sense to me. This was beautiful. Let me know what you guys think down below. Leave a like, subscribe to Mind Q, obviously, because he's freaking awesome, and I'll see you next time.